Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Early Edge. We are brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Let's see if we got a chance to bounce back yesterday. Let's see if we actually pulled it off. We did. We go 5-2. Notice the Zion Williamson bet was void. He's hurt. He didn't play. But Buckets goes 2-0. Tom Casale, Jeff Hockman hit their plays, and we go 1-for-2 with the SportsLine picks. It's a good morning indeed. We needed that bounce back. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great Wednesday show for you. We're going to be talking all kinds of different things. With the stars of the show, let's go ahead and bring them in. We got Buckets. We got Mikey B. We got Danny Brasco. Little tight-knit group here. Buckets, I'm a little disappointed in you. I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise. I'm always disappointed in you. But you went 2-0 after being outside giving your picks yesterday. Why aren't you outside again? The fans want to know.
Because when you're outside for 40 minutes without the proper outside protection and you run out of breath and you run and all that stuff, you get immediately sick the next day, Sia. So I feel like my physical well-being might be a little bit more important than going 2-0. But if I'm wrong, I will go outside right now when I give out my take to keep that theme going, if that's what people want.
I mean, Connor Johnston very emphatically in the chat says, go outside with an exclamation mark. I didn't know that you weren't feeling well, but I do think people want you to go outside. I mean, if you want to be selfish and stay inside and warm, that's on you, Buckets. I'll let you marinate with that.
Yeah.
Danny Brasco, pre-show, we were talking about the Cowboys-Lions game. Of course, tomorrow we're going to be really leaning into that game on the Early Edge. You're not here for football, though, right? You've got some UFC early picks to give out.
Massive UFC 323 card. I had to get ahead of some lines and get some takes out early. By the way, Buckets, aren't you training for Survivor? I mean, what's good? A little outdoors, a little into the wild, and we're coming down with a little. we got to man up out here if we're going to be in the wilderness. And I believe in you to do the outdoor picks. I think your outdoor record is going to be better than your indoor record, and that's going to be proof that Survivor should take you. What do you think about this?
First of all, when you're on Survivor, aren't you like on Hawaii or something, like on a nice tropical island where it's, easy? I might be wrong there. I'm gonna be selfish. F all of you. I'm gonna make this about me. I'm staying indoors, baby. Let's do this.
Indoor record. All right. Well, in any case, yeah, I'm hyped for UFC. I got a lot of takes to give out.
Jed in the chat says it's nothing and a good bucket of ice cold hotel water can't cure. Love that reference, Jed. Mikey B, we've got a pretty good NBA slate today, correct? You've got a couple of picks.
Yes, I do, but I want to talk about Buckets. Buckets is like Jared Goff. He's better indoors. So just let him stay inside. Let him stay toasty. Let him get healthy. He'll be fine. 2-0 is coming, or however many picks Buckets is good.
If any of you have any preliminary props, even if you don't know the number that you like for tomorrow night's, because you mentioned Jared Goff, I mentioned, the Cowboys. I think that's such an interesting line at +3. We're actually going to have a sports line pick later that's going to implicate the line. But I think there's a lot of props that are very, very interesting in this game. Obviously, it's going to be a shootout. But let's get started with some picks. Buckets. Again, you're indoors. You were 2-0 yesterday, so we're trying to go 3-0 here, right? You have one pick today. What do you got?
Jared Goff is an American professional quarterback for the Lions. I should probably know that because I think I said Lions were my team earlier this year.
Yeah, you should probably know that, yes.
Yikes. Okay.
Incidentally, since you made that call, they have been pretty much terrible. Just wanted you to know that.
No, I appreciate you building me up always on these difficult sick days, Sia.
You're welcome.
One bet for everyone, and to be honest, just full disclosure, me and you were having this conversation. It's a Bucket's immune system needs to be studied. Oof, true. This is a tough bet, and I know a lot of people are not going to like it, but I am going with the Bucket gut, the gut kit. I don't know if that's a word. I'm looking at this EPL matchup between Liverpool and Sunderland, a.k.a. Funderland, my club that I support in the Prem. Liverpool right now are heavy favorites to win this matchup, and people are saying because they beat West Ham with a red card, now all of a sudden they've bounced back, they're looking good, everything's kind of clicking. Even though they won that game against West Ham, albeit scoring before the red card, they still didn't look fantastic, and I still don't have full faith that this team is still one of the best teams in the Premier League. They've got a lot to figure out defensively, and when you are a club like Sunderland, who is absolutely soaring right now, they are flying high, you've got no choice but to attack a weak defensive side like Liverpool. Liverpool has conceded the most goals in the top 10 right now in the Premier League with 20 goals conceded, but also 20 goals scored. If they truly have found their form, then that means that they are going to have their foot on the gas, they're going to be pressing, and they're going to be mounting for multiple goals here. I love both teams to score at -110, even though Sunderland hasn't been great on the road, because I, for one, still don't trust Liverpool, Sia. Let's cash this ticket.
All right, we're taking Liverpool, Sunderland, both teams to score at -110. If you have questions in the chat, you have all, I mean, really, Buckets? Okay, so the audio listeners have no idea what I'm stumbling over, but you just raised a Harvard sweat that you're wearing there, Buckets. Where did you get that and why?
On the bottom, it says university as well. So it's like
He's repping his level, Sia.
my alma mater. Alma mater.
Okay, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and move on. If you have questions for Buckets that pertain to soccer and soccer only, make in the chat. We need to get to NBA, and if you have questions about the NBA, UFC, I've got a PGA pick that I'm going to give out for tomorrow, a two-ball matchup. But Mikey B, let's get some NBA picks out there.
I should have worn my Princeton sweatshirt just so I could be up there with the Buckets. No, I didn't go to Princeton. Don't worry. I have 2 player props for today. First, we're going to go Cooper Flag over 6.5 rebounds at -123. He's grabbed at least 7 rebounds in 6 straight games. The rookie is playing a ton right away, averaging 34 minutes per game for the season. I like this should be an up-tempo game between the Heat and Mavericks. Both teams rank in the top 6 in the league in pace of play. The Heat, we like to attack them. They've given up the 2nd most rebounds per game in the league. Now, normally I would take a center against them, but I don't trust Anthony Davis and or Daniel Gafford to stay healthy. So let's go with Cooper Flag over 6.5 rebounds. And then a highlight matchup, Knicks, Hornets. We can all watch Eric Collins on the broadcast. Let's do Miles McBride over 11.5 points. He has scored at least 14 points in 3 of the last 4 games. In each of those games, he played at least 33 minutes. OG Anunoby and Landry Shamet are both out. This is the 2nd game of a back-to-back set for the Knicks, so I don't think Mitchell Robinson plays. McBride should easily play 30 minutes against a Hornets team that has the 7th worst defensive rating in the league, so I like him to score over 11.5 points.
I have breaking news here, Mikey B. I don't know if this is directed at you, but usually it is when we've got like a birthday theme. Got blanked, says Pogo Picks. Got blanked on bets on my birthday yesterday. Need a bounce back day today. I don't know if we have like a birthday parlay we can give Pogo. Pogo, we went 5-2. You didn't take any of our picks. Okay.
Pogo, I will start working on it now. I know Danny has a cornucopia of picks. So by the time Danny is done, I will have worked up a birthday parlay for Pogo here.
Go ahead, Buckets.
Mike, it's like I always say as you do your research and you're studying to find this parlay, the pain of studying is only temporary. That's just something I'm known to say.
He got that at Harvard, guys.
Little
he got that at Harvard.
There for you guys.
So we have a Bulls question too, Mikey B. And Ben, if you want to jump in and respond to Aaron Taylor's take here on tailored winnings over here on YouTube, because you're going to the game, Ben. Bulls under 120 and a half at -120. He says they win as well. The Nets have been low scoring. Mikey B, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't mind that. The Bulls, unfortunately for Ben, not only does he have to see them play the Nets, but the Bulls are missing a lot of guys. Kobe White is out. Isaac Okoro is doubtful. They got a bunch of guys listed as questionable. The depth chart's not great right now. So I would lean under that one. That's a big number. I mean, I know the Bulls are a fast-paced team, but Ben, fellow Bulls fan here, what do you say?
Yeah, 8.5 favored by 8 or 8.5. Like that's a lot.
I don't like that for a team that's missing so many guys, and they always play up or down to their opponents too.
Yeah, that's a lot. I do like the under, I think. Even Nets first quarter might be a play. It's like 2.5, 3. Bulls are back from a long road trip. We talked about my favorite grocery spot type of plays. The Bulls are just in a bad spot. They can't play defense. They're missing a bunch of guys. They can't hit any shots. They're just a fade team at this point, sadly.
Can you bring them some groceries so they can concentrate for this game? Can you send stuff before you go? When you show up, get there as soon as the gates open and bring some ho-hos and ring dings or whatever kind of treats they like. Yeah, right?
Are those like still like current snacks that people like get at the grocery store?
Yeah, so some Tootsie Rolls like Larry likes, we talked about, right?
Apparently it was Wes Roberts' birthday yesterday as well, so I wish
I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to work on something.
Yeah, let's work on that. I wish you all had said something. I think Pogo Picks is Jason Pogwist. I think, again, these handles have been changed around, so I apologize. I can't just drop your name in here, but yeah, you got to let us know when it's your birthday. We want to get it on the actual day, but Mikey B is here. He's the guy to give out birthday parlays. I am Thorb is in here. Thorb, recording artist Thorb, just dropping in to see how Buckets is doing. So Buckets, you've given us an update, a bit of a cold. You're indoor, but you're trying to go 3-0 over your last 2 days. How about we talk about an NHL odds boost? And then Buckets, you can chime in later. As I know, Mikey B is working hard. We got to get to some UFC picks as well. And we've got a lot of SportsLine picks. One of them is an NHL pick. BetMGM players will receive an NHL odds boost. Just make an NHL bet, add the boost, and if you win, you will receive extra winnings and unrestricted bonus dollars. It really is that easy. As far as the NHL goes, we got a plus money play, another one. San Jose money line plus 125. This one courtesy of Bruce Marshall. I think San Jose is at home against the Capitals. Capitals on a back-to-back here. So maybe a good spot for San Jose money line plus 125. NBA picks, we got Jalen Johnson over 32.5 points and rebounds at minus 122. That one courtesy of Prop Bet Guy. And NFL play, Titans team total under 14.5 points at minus 110. Again, RJ White has the Titans team total under 14.5 points, minus 110. I believe they're on the road at Cleveland.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, how are
total for that game is 33.5. It's going to be a rough one.
It's going to be particularly for the Titans, who I thought were actually going to show up a little bit on offense. I was in the Discord, Danny, before that game saying, hey, you know, it's not an official play, but I kind of like Cam Ward to throw for 200 yards. And I had the Shimray DK over, which was, I think, 32.5 yards, something like that. And it was completely terrible. So at Cleveland, good luck. Let's get to some UFC, Danny. We're going to get to my golf pick. We're going to get to your questions and a birthday parlay. A lot to cover right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
We're back on the early edge, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Danny Brasco, your takes are always legendary. We got some early UFC plays to consider. You've got the floor.
Stacked card, so let's get right into it, Sia. Prelim bet that I like, an underdog. Nazim Sedyakov. Now, his name is the Black Wolf, but I want to re-nickname Nasty Nas because Nasty Nas is in the area and he's about to cause mass hysteria, Sia. Wow, I love the way this guy's pressure kickboxing just goes after his opponent, and he's really pouring it on lately. He's 4-0-1 in the UFC, 4 finishes, and the one draw I was in attendance for in Madison Square Garden, electric fight where he and his opponent were just trading back and forth. He's shown great heart. He's got a great chin, and he's fighting a guy in Fares Ziam that's on a 5-fight win streak of his own. You know, Sedyakov is the underdog for a reason. Ziam is going to have a big height and reach advantage, and he's a rangy striker. He's tricky. He's a well-rounded player. He can mix in his grappling too, but I think Sedyakov's got the chops to deal with him wherever this fight goes. He can move forward, use his pressure to close the distance, and just rip combinations to the head and body, get those kicks going, and really win the big moments, land the damage, I think win this fight as a dog. So really liking Sedyakov to show out in this fight. Another fight, man. This one is going to go one of two ways. I'm either going to look really dumb or really smart. Give me Manuel El Loco Torres to win this fight inside the distance by knockout or submission. He's fighting Grant Dawson. Big clash of styles. I think it's going to be one-way traffic either way this fight goes. Dawson is an elite wrestler, so if he can get his takedowns going, perhaps he controls Torres and he's just stuck on his back for this fight. That's what Dawson does. But Torres is way too dangerous to be an underdog this wide in this fight, and he's finishing all of his opponents when he wins. He throws a violent right hand across the cage, elbows, knees, spinning attacks, flying attacks. And he's dangerous from bottom, too. I think he won't settle if he is taken down. He can throw elbows from bottom position and maybe some submissions to work back to his feet. And for every moment that it's on the feet, Dawson is going to be in deep trouble. And I just can't stop forgetting when he got chinned by Bobby Green, just kind of light jab that caught him in a weird spot, knocked out. I know it was 2 years ago, but I've always questioned his chin since then. You can't have a questionable chin against Manuel Torres. So give me him inside the distance here. Now let's go straight to the main event of the evening. I couldn't wait till Friday to get this out, guys, because I'm too fired up for Merab the Machine Dvalishvili. He's looking for his 4th straight title defense against Petr Yan. And this is a rematch because, well, Merab's cleared out the division. There's no one left to face him. So he's rematching against Yan, who he beat, 5 fights ago now? I mean, Merab is only getting better since then. My question is, what adjustment is Yan going to make? Because he got 50-45 shutout on the scorecards. And if you didn't watch the fight and I told you Merab went 22% on his takedowns, you would say, oh, Yan probably had some success. He got his boxing going. He absolutely got stuck in defense. Merab landed 11 takedowns, but attempted a record 49. His pace, his pressure is overwhelming. No one can keep up with his cardio. and he's getting more dangerous. He's training with John Wood alongside of Ray Longo now, and they've got his striking going. He almost got Corey Sandhagen, who's got a great chin, out of there in the last fight, hurt him bad in the second round. And he hit Sean O'Malley with an inverted Ezekiel choke, one of the wildest submissions I've seen, cracking him with left hooks against the cage. Look, you're getting a minus 500 favorite in Merab that's known as a decisionator throughout his career. But I really think that he might capitulate Petr Yan in this fight, just make him break and eventually maybe pull off a 6 submission or TKO him. So I like a long shot sprinkle on the plus 450 knockout or submission, but I think you can also attack it on the spread. Merab Dvalishvili minus 5.5. It's a chalky price tag, but he's going to win every round of this fight. There's no adjustment that Yan can make. The only adjustment you make against Merab is separating him from consciousness. And if you can't do that, he's going to drown you. Give me Merab.
Separating him from consciousness. There's a lot of compliments in the chat, Brasco, about how you give takes. Every single time there's somebody new that's like, man, this guy is just way too good. Buckets, I don't know what's going on with your background. I guess you're trying to show the snow. It actually looks kind of beautiful. We've got a question from Andrew Stanek. He says, Buckets, how do you feel about Real Athletic, both teams to score over 2.5 goals at plus 105? Also, there was somebody in the chat that said they can't picture you on Survivor, but they can picture you on Amazing Race paired up with yours truly, which means me, Buckets.
Sia, I love you to death. There's no way in hell we're making it through the Amazing Race
That's
together.
so true.
One
That's
of us is dead by the end of it, and it's probably me. And potentially,
no, it's probably me.
You think so?
In fairness, yeah, I think it's me. Yeah.
Okay.
All the travel and I think I'm out. Like, I can't do the early edge. Like, what am I going to do?
Well, to answer Andrew's question, it's like they taught us at Harvard: enter to grow in wisdom, depart to serve better thy country and mankind.
Sure.
Oh, but also the bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it because Real Madrid right now is playing very not Real Madrid-like. I mean, they're struggling to beat teams like Girona and splitting points with them. Athletic Club, not the best team by any means, but when playing at home are always good for a goal, especially when you've got this defensively susceptible Real Madrid side. I like goals in this one. I honestly think Athletic Club might cover the spread, but you got to bet Kylian Mbappe anytime goal scorer here as well to kind of hedge a bit on the Real Madrid side with the form he's in. But I think this is a great shout, and I do like goals in this matchup.
How about Brighton versus Aston Villa, both teams to score and over 2.5 minus 110 from Taj?
I hate it, which means it's probably going to hit because I can't get a read on Aston Villa to save my life right now. I think I've bet them 4 times this season and I've missed all 4 of them. So the fact that I dislike it means that it's probably good. Aston Villa's been decent enough on the road. I mean, they beat Leeds. I don't know. I don't have a ton of confidence in them right now to score, and they're not at home. So I'm staying off of it personally here, Taj.
And Crispy Ska, who I believe is Chris Kish. Again, these handles are turned around a little bit. Arsenal versus Brentford, over 2.5 total goals, minus 115. Any thoughts?
Absolutely love it here, especially if Thiago starts, which we don't know if he will for Brentford. Arsenal are still missing Gabriel on that back line, and since he's been out, Arsenal, who was this defensive powerhouse, has now conceded in 4 Premier League games in a row. I like both teams to score here a lot if you want kind of a sneaky, similar odd bets here and don't want to take over 2.5. But again, I see goals in this fixture.
Before we get back to NBA, because there's some questions and, of course, the birthday parlay you want to give out, Mikey B, let me give out my play real quick. You can find this over at BetMGM at the same price that you can find it over on DraftKings. I don't know that FanDuel is offering this. It's a Hero World Challenge as Buckets is getting warmed by the fire. That actually looks moderately real. Brian Harmon plus 100 over Harris English. This is a round 1 2-ball. Now, the Hero World Challenge, as I said yesterday when I gave out the Cam Young pick in the without Scotty Scheffler market, it's only 20 players, and it's really hard to say what type of form some of these players are in and perhaps how seriously they're taking this tournament. So this is one of those where I may not go a full unit like I always do on my round matchup specifically. If you want to take this down to a half a unit to 3/4 of a unit, that's probably where I'm going to be. But I do think this is worthy of giving out and worthy of betting because Harris English just hasn't been in good form for quite some time, especially when it comes to the approach metrics, which you're going to need here, obviously. Brian Harmon has actually been in pretty good form, especially when it comes to the approach play. The Bermuda putting's pretty good for Brian Harmon as well. I just think he rates out way better than Harris English. And so I don't understand why he's plus 100 here. Their history at the Hero World Challenge, both of them, it's kind of like middle of the road history. I think this should be minus 115 both ways. I'll mention you can also over at DK find Brian Harmon in a different category of matchups. It's called 18-hole matchups over Wyndham Clark. I think that's minus 130. I also like that. but I just like the value of even money Brian Harmon over Harris English for this round 1-2 ball. So that's what I'm going to go with. I thought I might have some Nedbank picks for you all, and I don't know that I don't have any that I'm confident enough to give out. So I'll be in the SportsLine Discord later if I have maybe some Nedbank outrights to give out. That thing starts up tomorrow. And of course, Hero World Challenge picks I might have on Thursday and Friday as well. All right, let's toggle back to NBA. Actually, NFL. Brasco, I want to ask you this before we get to NBA. Sean Betty asks, who do I take in Survivor? Cleveland, who, of course, plays the Titans. We talked about that with the SportsLine pick. Or the Philadelphia Eagles, who play at the Chargers. I think both of them are in that 3-point favorite range. I would take Cleveland all day there. I understand the Chargers have some issues and that Justin Herbert might not play, but Philly on the road, I'd just rather avoid.
I totally agree. It's horrifying to take Cleveland in Survivor with Shedeur Sanders under center, but you have to use them in this spot. Like, you don't want to use the Eagles looking in their current form, right? You'd be wasting your chips on the Eagles, so to speak, like a blue chip, Exactly. Yeah, I would take the Browns and hold my breath. Also, if I wanted to circle back to something UFC as well. Mm-hmm. People are mentioning that, it's going to be tough to get that plus 450 prop. Petr Yan has never been finished in his pro career. Merab is saying that he wants to be the first guy to do it. And you just got to believe the great ones at this point. Topuria calling his round 1 knockouts. Merab, the 15-fight win streak he's on. I'm believing in the great ones here. So that's the play.
Big Cheesy is a great one. Harmon over Novak minus 135. I don't know what to do with Novak because I do feel like he's one of those guys that's so volatile that he could just spike for a round or two. Obviously, he can win a tournament too. We've seen that. I don't like that one quite as much, but I mean, certainly if I like Harmon over English, I probably should like this one too. I'm not sure about the minus 135 there. Big Cheesy, you're from the West Coast, right? I think I just heard that Eldon Campbell passed away recently, which just an unsung Lakers hero. So, RIP Eldon Campbell. And I've got the Magic Johnson jersey behind me. If you've got Magic Johnson wouldn't fit in this category, but if you've got an unsung Laker, a guy that we don't really talk about in Lakers lore, but was actually pretty good role player or whatnot, put it in the chat and also put it in the YouTube comments because Eldon Campbell would certainly fit that description. I think Nick Van Exel is the type of player I'm looking for there. Anyway, Mikey B, Anthony Davis over 22.5 points. Tailored Winnings wants to know.
I don't play any Anthony Davis props because at any point he can fall down and be out for the rest of the game. My rule is I do not play Anthony Davis props. I'm sorry. Tailored is very sharp, but I don't play Anthony Davis.
Totally fair. Do you have a birthday parlay for us, Mike?
I do. Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
All right, let me pull it back up. It's a 3-legger. I took some conservative lines, but we still got good odds here. So we're going to do Nikola Jokic. The Nuggets are playing the Pacers. We're going to take him to record 12 or more rebounds. We've already talked about the pace. So his actual line's 12.5 for rebounds. I was thinking about making that one of my picks for the show. He had 14 the last time he faced them. But it's a big number, so I was a little worried. But I really like 12. That's a good number. Josh Giddey, 9+ rebounds. Vucevic is not a good rebounder. He spends a lot of time out at the 3-point arc. Giddey could rack up rebounds against a Nets team that shoots for a bad percentage. And then finally, Jalen Johnson. We had a prop for him before. I'm going to take him to score 20 or more points against the Clippers. Clippers collapsing, awful team, play no defense, no heart whatsoever. So Jokic 12+ rebounds, Giddey 9+ rebounds, Jalen Johnson 20+ points is plus 221. How about that? We like that. We got over plus 200. We got 3 legs. Happy birthday. Hopefully this helps with the triple-decker cake. Maybe you get the fudgy ice cream with your cake if you hit this big. Here we go.
Real quick, what's your favorite type of cake? Mine would just be pure chocolate. Mikey B, what's yours?
Yeah, I like chocolate cake with some, my wife buys cakes. We've gotten to the point where we're not making cakes anymore. We're too old. The parties are too big. So just buy cakes. I like the chocolate cake with a little bit of like that fudge filling in between the layers.
Strong.
That's really good.
Buckets, quickly.
Mike just said that the parties are so big they don't have time anymore. Have any of you ever gotten an invite to one of Mikey B's parties?
Never, not once.
Listen, these aren't adult parties. These are kids' parties. I don't have friends. I'm over 40. This is the only adult interaction I get is with you guys. It's either that or I go to somebody else's kid's birthday party. So don't worry, I'm not having big blow. There are no adults coming to my house unless they're bringing someone under the age of 10. So you're not missing invites, I promise.
Wow, I was not expecting that response. Danny Brasco, what's your answer to the cake?
I'm not a big cake guy, but if I am eating cake, ice cream cake all day.
Yeah, ice cream cake's a good call there. All right, let's get to what we got. One more soccer question, then we're going to bring up the recap screen. But I do want to give a shout out. This whole RIP Eldon Campbell, a lot of that in the chat. But we're talking about unsung or maybe under the radar Lakers. Put it in the YouTube comments too, because I want this to be memorialized. Once the chat's gone, the chat's kind of gone. There's some really good answers. Michael Cooper, Derek Fisher, Eddie Jones, Rick Fox. Let's see, Cedric Sabalos from Big Cheesy, AC Green. These are some really good answers. Absolutely love to see it. All right, Buckets, we had at least one more soccer question. Okay, two actually. Burnley under a half a goal at plus 110, asks Jay Long.
I'm not as smart or as handsome or as cunning as Chip. I can't do unders. I am not mentally strong enough to do what Chip does. I don't hate it. I think it's probably the right look out of all the Premier League games. I think this one probably has the least amount of goals. Palace love a nice little cagey 1-0 kind of thing. I just mentally, I can't do it. I'm sorry, Jay Long. It's a good look. I think it cashes. I won't be cashing with you.
All right. Requi969 says, Buckets, how do you feel about a Harry Kane goal today?
It's the Pokal Cup, so be careful. It's also a bit of a revenge match against Union Berlin, so I like it a lot if he starts. I just don't know if he's going to start, so that's a kind of wait for lineups. Also, on MGM, it's minus 200, so personally not for me, maybe a parlay piece, but I'd still wait for lineups even with that.
Go ahead, Brasco.
Okay, Mikey B, I just want to say something that makes me feel really good about your parlay. I just spent all that time trying to get it in. I barely bet any NBA this season. I bet it. DraftKings, which I bet it on, has me wager limited. They have my account flagged. It's BS. I can't bet. I can't get down more than I can't get down more than like $45 on like certain props and stuff. So it's worthless betting on there anyway. But I just tried to bet $25 on your parlay, and they wager limited me to like $23.96. And this is like one of like maybe 2 NBA bets I've made all season. So why, I say, because they're scared. You got a good parlay here.
Thanks, Danny.
I believe that's correct.
Quaking in their boots.
We've got Shannon Brown. Japan says Shannon Brown as far as the unsung Lakers. We're talking about a cake bracket. I'm going to tweet something out. I need everybody's top 3 cereals. I'm going to tweet that out later. But that cereal bracket is almost finished. It's almost formalized. It's going to be in much prettier form than the candy bracket. So look forward to that. All right, let's look forward to the recap screen and get everybody out of here. My 2-ball is tomorrow morning. And actually, this 2-ball, I think, starts after the early edge tomorrow. So you have a little bit of time. I think Brian Harmon and Harris English tee off in that 10 to 11 range, but closer to 11 o'clock. But I have Brian Harmon plus 100 over Harris English. Also have a lean on Brian Harmon over Wyndham Clark, which is another 2-ball you can get. Liverpool versus Sunderland, both teams to score minus 110. That one courtesy of Buckets. And of course, we had a ton of soccer questions in the chat that Buckets answered, as always. Nazim Sadikov, money line plus 115. Torres by KO sub plus 215. Marab by KO or sub plus 450. And then Marab again, minus 5.5 at minus 190. Those are 4 picks, early picks for UFC from Danny Brasco. Cooper Flag over 6.5 rebounds, minus 123. And Miles McBride over 11.5 points at minus 110. Plus, of course, the birthday parlay that came from Mikey B as well. SportsLine picks San Jose money line plus 125 from Bruce Marshall. Prop bet guy says Jalen Johnson over 32.5 points and rebounds minus 122. And an early NFL play for Sunday, Titans team total under 14.5 points minus 110 from one of the sharpest around. Of course, that is RJ White. Larry Hartstein asking about grape nuts. So it is in the bracket and it's a 16 seed. So it's probably going to get bounced. Some people are not going to like this bracket very much or the seedings, because there's so much Captain Crunch and Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the front end. I mean, we're going to have a lot of upsets early, but Grape Nuts, Cracklin' Oat Bran snuck in as a 16 seed as well. We got a lot going on with the cereal. Brasco, last word here. What were you laughing at?
Bucket's throwing up Harvard. It's killing me, bro. I'm crying.
That's how we got it.
Just throwing up Harvard, like
Veritas, baby, Veritas.
Killing me.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. We need a bracket of just Larry's food takes, says Jen. Oh man, that's so true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. Ben, thank you on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s, and have fun at the Bulls and Nets game, or at least as much fun as you could possibly have at Bulls Nets. Thank you, Mikey B. Thank you, Buckets. Thank you, Harvard. Thank you, Danny Brasco. Buckets, final word.
Final word. It's like they taught us at Harvard. Listen to Philip Terrazas and take Freiburg team total in the DFB Pokal Cup match.
I mean, we rest our case at Harvard.
Veritas.